Hello, everybody. I am Brenda Jean Power, Medicine Woman. I am from Medicine Woman Soultion. There's always a solution, and your soul knows it. And once you're aligned, you can have it. So life will throw at you many little things that you may not understand. And this is where, as you begin to awaken, you are going to notice that it is your choice, your soul's choice, your spirit's choice to how it is that you want to awaken. Okay. Some of you may be kicking and screaming. Some of you will feel the urge that will just pull you. But how do we communicate with it? How do we do that? And that is where you're going to have to learn to go in and find that spirit part of you, that authentic part, so you can learn how to have trust, okay, and faith. Everybody has faith, and faith is about believing. So people will say, well, and you jump right to a category, whether it's religion or God or however you choose to do it. But you have to remember that you believe in a lot of things already. I believe I'm late. I believe I can't do this. You are putting that much faith into something that really isn't something that you want, but your soul is telling you that you are invested in. So the amount of energy of life force you get is 100%. And we go into something called spiritual debt. That is, we take that life force and we invest it in with an emotion, a belief system, thoughts, and we create a belief. So what you're saying is that you've accepted, you believe it by giving your willpower to it. Over time, you are going to have some issues that are going to arise. It'll be like riding the brake and the gas at the same time, and you're going to wear something out because emotions help you have this expression through your DNA. Okay, so the environment affects your DNA, emotions affect your DNA, how you react, how they react. So there's these energy exchange that people need to know more about. So we're always bumping into it and up to it, but it's about these definitions that people have. If somebody's definition is different than yours, you will walk up to them, have a conversation with the definitions you carry. Now, if you're out of your little bubble and you go and you start communicating with other people and you use your personality and your definitions, some people may go, oh my God, what's wrong with them? Or what? So it's learning how to understand this language barrier that we have sometimes because we are so used to our comfort zones. We are so used to communicating a certain way. And I know when I woke up, there was a part of me that was like, I just want to be benevolent. I just want that love. And I understood that not everybody has the same heart. People that come to you that are really nice, say they'll never hurt you, blah, 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 blah. It was like you learn to trust, you learn to do this. And when they feel that you disappointed them, they feel they have the right to say so and condemn you and then point it out so everybody else would agree. And if you are not really awake, you will start to feel the guilt and the shame, and you will then go into your shell or you'll fight back. Well, those paradigms are changing. It literally is changing. So people, more and more people are waking up to, do we need to be sadistic anymore? Okay. Do we need to get pleasure of hurting people? Because that's not really what the heart wants. It really isn't. But a lot of us do not realize that we sit in the space of two-face. And two-face is talking out both sides of your mouth. And you will be kind in 1 minute and very judgmental and hurtful in another. And those people say, well, I'm not being judgmental. I understand what's correct, right, and wrong. And it's like, okay, that's the thing, is that if you don't understand that other person's heart or where their backgrounds come from, then how can you be completely trustworthy within your own belief system? Okay, now I know that last phrase sounded weird, but like, for instance, if a person is, if the person is sitting there not understanding their own behavior, their own personality, and they are looking at it from a right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyond, yeah, that'd be great, right? No, they do what's right and wrong. But again, is that wrong? No, it's about how we grew up. It's how we monkey see, monkey do. But this paradigm is about transformation of everything on every level. Social intelligence has to change. Our attraction factor of the people that we bring into our lives have to be understood. The energies to how we bump into one another needs to be understood. Because without it, oh my God, we're so good at going, oh my God, that hurt. And then you either go into fight, flight, freeze. Okay. The word for alpha is more of a benevolent alpha instead of a tyrant or a pimp. You are moving into a way that it's not about trying to be competition and to beat somebody down. It's about standing there in a situation that allows you to feel that you can be yourself among all different kinds of people. We have left the self, not your ego, but your spiritual self, out of the equation for way too long. If you were shown that you showed interest in yourself, that was wrong. If you didn't just give everything to everybody, that was wrong. And then there are people that were takers and people who are givers. We're so done dividing. We're coming to a balanced, synchronized point. Okay. So it's very important to understand we have to use this new way of thinking with our soul, with ourself, with our ability to connect with who we really are, you are actually intuition in form. You are yin and yang. You are the coming of the unity and the balance of the energies so that they balance instead of just this karma in action of going back and forth. You're going to learn how to do the figure eight without having to get stuck and, oh my God, why is life happening to me? So, down the road in the college, in the academy, I should say, you're going to learn all about all these different little things. So this show gives you bits and pieces. It wants you to understand the white belt level of awareness, that you have to begin to know that you can start moving up and up leveling to the black belt of your awareness. And it's going to take time. So I'm getting ready to launch, I think in January or February, I'm not sure exactly what month yet, but to help you understand how to wake up and stay awake, to help you avoid some of these pitfalls that we all go through and still go through to some degree because we're all still here learning. Now, I feel like I want to introduce something I've done here. Spirit says, well, when I first started out in 2003, I had a dry erase board that I used continuously, and I have not been able to do this in such a long time. So I need a topic to be able to use the board. You can kind of see it there, but I have another camera that we can use this on. Okay, so who we have is in lineup for the expedites. It goes April Lynn, and then it goes Jennifer Toffel. And then let me see, and then Jennifer Osika. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we got, that's funny is I got the 2 gens. I had 3 gens when I was in Michigan, but I got the 2 gens. I love this. This is awesome. So just so you know, if you're new, you get 2 minutes free. Okay, as far as your reading. If somebody brought you, you get 3. And then a person that brought you gets their name into the jar to win 10 minutes with me on the air. So the 1 minutes will be afterwards, but you're like, but I don't know if I can wait. Well, that's fine. It's called the wait list. You just go to my fan page and message me. Okay. And that's the way we can do that. Okay. You're going to learn a lot of things. So what could we talk about so I could use this board? And that is usually never a problem, but I haven't used the board in such a long time. So Spirit was like, I want to talk to you about self. I want to talk to you about ego. Now, there's a whole classroom just about ego mindset, spirit mindset. We're going to show you something that's very unique. Now, I'm going to do my best to switch cameras because it worked earlier. All righty, so let's see if we can, whoa, that's up close. Okay, so let me take these off because clearly I can't see. And let's see what we can get here. All right, when I talk about ego, I'm talking about ego is an electromagnetic guiding apparition. It's a lens. But when we fall asleep, we kind of shut off our authentic self. So just bear with my ability to draw. And it's going to be a forehead with an eye and a nose and whatever, and give it a nice big ass chin. Okay, he's going to smile. And this is the eye. Okay, but what I want you to notice, and hopefully you guys can see this okay, is that most of the time when we're in ego and you bump up into people that are asleep, they live out here. This is called the external world. Come on, marker. The external world. And you will feel like it's happening to you, at you, through you. And the energy's all hanging out here. Ah! But you can feel it all in here. But your consciousness of your awareness is that you're looking this way. Okay? you're using your sensory system to feel the energy that comes at you. And you have to figure out how to cope, handle, deal, and pacify. But a lot of us haven't learned how to self-soothe. Now, it's nobody's fault, but this is the era to know so. So as we look out and we experience things in front of us, a lot of us will come into, I don't want to go out there. I don't want to do it. Anxiety, frustration, everything, and it'll all mark inside here. So when the ego starts to look at things, it just only goes to ego for advice. It goes to old programs, or it goes to your friend and you borrow their experiences. And we have forgotten the ability to really connect with ourselves. So when I say HC, that's your higher consciousness. And throughout history, such as religion said, hey, God is out up over there. You can go get, but you can only do it through prayer, which means what? Intention, focus, directing, communicating. But we have the energy outside of us instead of saying it's inside. So meditation and everything else has said, hold on, you can actually connect with spirit on the inside. You can go within. Okay. So when I'm asking you to heal, I'm asking you to go within. But the ego doesn't actually go here. It goes to borrowed memories. And that is usually where it goes to the subconscious mind. Okay. And when it goes to the subconscious mind, it goes in. Okay. So it goes in this direction, but it comes back out and says it's an expert. It'll borrow stuff from the outside, go back in, check. Yep, that feels about right. Then go back out. We don't really make decisions with our higher self. And we will go to this only when we're desperate and we pray. And if we have faith, which means do we believe it? Because as a creator of how we do things, if we see something happen in front of us, we're going to reject it. Ah! But if we've been exposed over and over, it's a possibility. So when something occurs, it's not going to be go, oh my God, okay, or no, it'll be, oh. Why? Because you've gone down to your subconscious mind, which is your data centers, which can also be my body, which is also the chakras of the level of consciousness. But again, the ego does things alone. It's the false self. So when you begin to heal, okay, so as you begin to heal some of your issues, let's say you just have a ton of issues in here, crazy talk, high beta thinking, emotions that are attacking, and then your inner world projects out and then has the same kind of crazy thing because the emotions that are in here, okay, so your emotions are very magnetic. And it sits there as a magnet and draws to it situations, stories, and things like this. Because of that happening, we're like, oh my God, it's happening to us. All we're doing is that we are the mirror to some degree, and we are looking. But when you use healing tools like OMG, Success, Hope Hit Therapy, EFT, all the other tools that I have free on my site, or whoever you want to talk to, whoever you learn it from, go heal. Use all the tools necessary. But as soon as you start to remove some of these emotions, okay, then you'll start to see it out here. And then every day that you go in and say, oh, there's a twang, there's a pain. Oh, you know what? I can heal that. I'm going to resolve to evolve. So you heal that emotion, and all of a sudden it resolves the outer world, and then you keep going every day. Okay, so let's say all of a sudden, oh no, I've got nothing in my head. Okay, but what happens here is this. You will start to feel more comfortable to connecting to who your authentic self is. When that occurs, you'll understand how the outside gets affected. So you'll then change your thinking. Instead of saying, if they did it to me, I'm so disappointed in you, I hate you, you don't have to throw a tantrum. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to pull minions. And you can go, oh my God, I got a twang. I can feel it inside. What's the story? And most of the time it'll be unfinished We didn't have closure in the past. This is why the healing changes the Akashic records. So what's the story? Whether it's hidden or untold, or it hasn't had closure. You can hear the content. You say it all the time. But if we're living outside ourselves and we're blaming somebody, then we're farther out on the scale that we have to heal more. So I always tell people, heal the twang. When you start doing that, you're questioning, Spirit, why did I do this? What's happening? Okay, so this person really hates me. Okay, I'm not a victim. Okay, but it's happening to me. No, I can feel the end. So this is when you learn about energy. So you really get to see what's happening. Well, again, the more you heal, the more you'll start to feel soul control. You'll start to feel your spiritual nerves being able to receive. By doing that, even though there's shit happening, you will be able to use the inside and outside of spirit. So we'll say, oh, thank you, Spirit. That's outside of us, but it's also inside of us, because the intelligence that put me together is the same intelligence that I see around me. It is what is here. It is what it is. It's the intelligence of social intelligence, is spirit. So I can go within and I'm like, okay, thank you, Spirit. But I can also feel it's coming from the outside. Okay, so we can call this spirit. All right. And it's coming. And for me, I can always feel the energy of the outside working. And it usually comes in this direction for me. And I can feel it. But I also activate certain parts of my brain and my heart. So that starts to come. So I have a heart-brain coherence. Okay. And as I start to understand my belief, my trust, and where I'm putting my faith, then I also know where I'm putting my willpower. And when I do that, then I realize that my inside is telling the outside. So I'm learning how to see it in both directions. And I can learn how to use what I was created for. I am a spiritual being having a human experience, but I am the spiritual human because now I'm creating unity. So what's happening out there, I don't have to line up to your timeline, your timeline, your timeline. You define it differently, you define it differently, you define it differently. I'm going to step back. I'm going to heal my hells, my fears, all of that. And as I do, I start to feel that I can get connected to here, to my higher self. And the more I learn how to build that muscle to go there first, then I can look at the outside and then spirit will be showing me. So you have a vision reality. So I believe it and I see it. Instead of believing in hell, and because what happens when you are doing thank you therapy, things will work. But what happens when you have something bad happen? Okay. It kind of disconnects you from your higher consciousness and puts you into a very calm beta brainwave into what's called a very high, why isn't my marker working? High beta brainwave. You can't stop thinking about it, okay? So what happens when you think? You have what's called, marker's not going to work. Okay, thank you, Spirit. 41 thoughts per minute, okay? Per minute. If all 41 thoughts are on OMG, what's that do to the brain? What is the natural process? You must fire and wire. What does that mean? It means that I've thought it so many times that I start to store it into my subconscious mind. I start putting a block over my heart, and I start believing this story. This happened to me. This is my story. And it consumes you. All of your sensory system gets overstimulated and it just wants to blow you apart. Fire and wire. You have the choice to disrupt that. That's what EFT does. That's what hope therapy does. That's what OMG does. It disrupts this so that you can take the emotional chemical peptide that vibrates you in and out of existence and break it. Okay? What happens when you break it? Well, you will then stop being so ego. Okay, you'll stop being so ego and trying to protect yourself in survival mode. That when you start to disrupt it, it stops firing. And then it starts to clear out the old wiring. And when you start to use a grateful heart, okay, and you start to use like gratitude and the emotional chemical peptide of love and kindness becomes your sun. You start to evolve around that instead of hate, instead of fear, instead of this. You begin to reconnect back up so that you can connect up to your higher consciousness. Okay? So we need to understand just a little bit more. What are we doing with these thoughts? What is this thought thinking? The more aware you become at this white belt is that you're like, oh my God, I just spent 2 hours thinking about how someone hurt my feelings. And you kind of can feel how your body is distorted because it was in this direction, and which then connects it to the past. And anything that's happening now is my 53, 54-year-olds, I forgot what age I am, but at the 50s, it's just a reenactment. I've already been here. I've already had this. I've seen it before. As you begin to wake up, you move up the next levels of belts, and you start to notice, oh crap, the person in front of me, I can feel the energy, I can feel the story. Who does this remind me of? Why is this familiar? And then you can go back, and in your memory, you can heal. And the more you heal, the more you change the way the subconscious mind is running the body. No more does it have to be about anxiety. It gets to be much more happier inside. And that's what you want, is you want happy little cells. Happy little cells make joy. And then the joy flows, which is what you were created with first, before you're formed. And then the joy flows is what you're hardwired to. And then you start to rewire yourself to become happier and healthier. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And let's get back to the show. So let's hear your feedback. Let's hear, and I forgot my glasses. So let's hear what you heard. Okay. Let's see what you guys have said. At first, it'll feel like, yeah, inside out. Yes, I'm showing you the inside, and I can show you how to heal it and blow your mind. Yes, there's a lot of information, but the more you start to define it and you start seeing it, this is why when you start working with Medicine Woman Soultion, you see the glossary. You'll start to understand that level of awareness, and you'll slip in and out of ego, but at the same time, you'll start to know how to control it, not by, how am I going to control? You will know when you're losing that life force. You're like, ooh, I need to follow it, and I need to heal it, and I need to bring my energy back. Okay. So you learn, but you have to get in the habit of healing. You have to get in the habit of going, I can heal that. The question is, do I want to? Yes, but we usually can't stop the overstimulation that drives us to feel like we're going insane. And then that usually means out of the 6 S's, which one do we need to address first? Because in the survival mindset is what you're learning to grow out of. You're learning to mature, to become more of a spiritual mindset and become more of a spiritual human. Okay. Hopefully you're all with me on this. But I missed my board. And what'd you think of that? Did you think that was good? Because sometimes I can have all these things in my head, but I think it's time for me to start bringing out the board. It blows my mind. Makes sense. Excellent. I heard we all see things differently because the way we believe. Absolutely. And see, when I came over here to Australia, I had a language that I had in my comfort zone, in my environment, and they had a language in their comfort zone and environment. The first thing I said, no worries. Okay. I'm not worrying. My automatic response was, I'm not worrying. What are you talking about? I'm not worrying. And my husband would be looking at me going, honey, that's not what I mean. What? So I started really learning about language, flippant speaking, flippant ways of feeling, and how some things will be just triggers galore. So we can really grow. It was great. I love the board, and it took me back to Monday nights. Yes. Yes. Good. I'm glad it gave the same feeling. That's what we're looking for. Ooh. Elle says, I talked about you on my live show and radio. Your work is amazing, bringing out the truth. Yes, thank you. And I even said that if we can set it up, I will come on and, communicate and do something. That helps to bring solidity to what we're talking about. Yes. And the more that you can start to use all of your sensory systems to get the pictures of what people are thinking, or get the definitions, or see a little bit more. See, this movement is not about you have issues, oh, I got all the answers. No, you have issues, you got all the answers. I want to show you how you can heal yourself. The self-empowerment is a very, 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 very big ass tool that is now finally more firm on this planet. And now we need to awaken to the beauty of it. It is what's going to help us wake up further, giving you your power back. Not to harm anybody. Power has been an issue with people's words. And it was very heavy in about taking your power, being in power. I've got the power. I'm going to take over the world power. But that was so last era. We're in a new level of consciousness now. And we're moving in the direction that we're meant to. And it's beautiful. So people like me are going to step up. We're going to help you to understand how to heal yourself, how to wake up, how to stop being traumatized from the past, how to help heal the body on the 4 ingredients of life. You'll start to work on the spiritual, which then affects the mental, the emotional, and then it will help clear up the physical. You are a beautiful human, but you're not just human. You're not just there. You are a spiritual human. You are intuition in form. You are a spiritual human. You are this beautiful thing. So let's help you operate this avatar and help you get through these things called level of consciousness and how we operate with other human beings. We're learning how to heal and rise. Okay. Help me help you. Yes. And it's very important. Okay. So again, if you can't wait, go on the waiting list. And then when you get back to watching my show later, at the top, it says, you'll say your name and the date, or the timestamp, so you can go back. But please stay for the show so we can all, get the ratings up, get the people there. Now, if you've shared your name, if it shows up on my little screen that they give me, your name will go into a treasure chest so that you have a chance to win 15 minutes with me free on the air. And those that have paid get to go in here and win a 30-minute free session with me off the air. And yes, you can pay it forward. You have to let me know what the money's for. People have said, well, what if I just want to give a love donation and that's it? Yes. I've heard many people take and do, well, I can't do the star system. I don't have enough people yet, but people donate to helps with the support. You just have to let me know. Okay, because otherwise I'll be thinking I have to owe you something because I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with it. Let's get to my screen here. Let me find it first. The first person we have up is Jennifer Margaret. I just got to find her first, and then I will send her the link. Wrong Jennifer, this one here. Okay, so you will be the first to come on. Now remember, some people are like, oh, I don't want my face to be seen. You don't have to. You can use your voice. No video is necessary. Okay, just so you know. Oh, sorry, not Jennifer. Jennifer, I'm sorry. No, April Lynn. Because April has to go to bed soon. Sorry, Jennifer Margaret, I'll give you a few extra minutes, okay? Lord, I looked right at it and I said, April, you're hiding. I don't know what's going on with your energy, girl. So sorry about that. Plus, that's also a sign, Jennifer Margaret. So we got to remember to keep that, figure out that sign. Where's April? your energy is really interesting, Miss Aprilyn, because it doesn't, there we go. Oh, you don't even want to show up on my screen. Why? April, what's happening? I just clicked on you and it said that you didn't. Okay, there. All right, this is a clue. Wonder what's going on with Miss April. The speech is delayed. Huh, interesting. Okay, I did find you, hon. I gave you the link. I ended up putting it in personal messenger, okay? So we have to really understand what that is about. Now, you don't have to read every sign, because otherwise you'll drive yourself very anal and you'll just like, oh my God, too much. You'll learn how to communicate with spirit, okay? You'll learn. Okay, Jennifer Margaret, I'm sorry. I will give you extra minutes. I promised April 1st. And then so just so you know, just sit in queue a little bit. Jennifer, let me know that you've got it, okay? And I'll let you in as soon as I'm done with April. So sorry about that. And I think we got audio. Hello? Nope, not yet. Just a second. There we go. Hi, dear. How are you?
Yeah.
We got visual too. Okay, awesome.
Oh, it's just been a crazy.
Yeah. Okay. This is the energy I'm feeling, is that you're weaving in and out of existence.
Yes, and I just lost you on my
video. Okay, let's see if I can help.
I can hear you. I just got to.
All right. I asked you to start the video. Let's see what happens. Can you see that? All right. So it feels like we're having. It's not technical difficulty at this point. It is what her spirit is trying to tell me. So let me get in here. Okay. We got, oh, now my pendulums are doing, I don't know what they're doing. So there's 3 there. That's all tangled up. So you got
the tango.
Yeah. Well, now, okay, there we go. All right. This, oh, fine. I won't use that one either. How's this one? Okay, a little heart. We'll do a little heart. All right, spirit. We have to figure out all the signs that you're giving. Oh, wow. My head feels automatically. I'm starting to feel like this has no energy moving through it. I feel like there's a dull sensation. All of a sudden, I want to go into a space of, that's it. I'm like, do you need to give yourself permission? Yes. Your nerves are saying that you're tired of readjusting, and you kind of pulled out of that with how many people? With one person. You're like, no, I don't want to do that. But I don't know if you did it consciously. I think you thought about it and then it just automatically happened. Does it make sense?
Yes. Well, my cat went to heaven, so I have some grief, and then that I tried to heal some of that out, which brought up like now I'm getting emotional. My father abandonment issues.
Grab R3S. Just do this as you talk to me, okay? R3S, babe.
Okay.
And as you talk to me, go ahead.
And then I don't know. It's just been really heavy. And
does it feel like let down by life? Let down by
kind of. My brother posted some little picture that said something ego, and then it like a note was passing it to the ego and was like, be okay with not knowing. And then I was like, whoa, and that kind of snapped me back out of it. But I went into my survival mode.
I can feel that.
Things have changed at the house with my husband. We get along fabulously. And his hours, he comes home earlier now. So we're out of sync.
Okay.
So he's agitated, but I don't know. I mean, it's like he walks in and then it's like, bam, I could just feel the energy. And then so snapping at me, and I'm like, this is not him. What is going on?
All
At
right.
work, some lady snapped at me and I snapped right back at her. And that's
Okay.
not
So
like me.
no, no, not at all. Okay. So we're going back to when you're 7 years old. I'm looking at the emotional chemical peptide dump that was on your nerves. And that came from you because you couldn't process about the fact that you had to readjust with something in life. I'm looking at how your nerves are right now. That's the point you're working with. And your nerves are saying that you were let down. And you've been trying to scramble out of it ever since because it doesn't make sense. You feel overstimulated. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So what happened around 7?
I don't really remember about
Okay,
7,
that's
but
okay.
9, my parents got divorced when I was
And
9.
so at 7, you may have started already feeling that because they keep using the word let down, makes me wonder if you felt how they were let down. So like, let's take your husband, for example. He comes home and he feels like the out of sync. So there might be some let down or don't know what to do with the emotions. So you have to let it down or let it out.
Yes.
And so people are not knowing what to do with these emotions at this time because now they're using the circadian rhythm chart. And they're telling me that about 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I said, so a.m. And they said, yes, you would be there at night around 7 a.m. or 7 years old, and you felt the energy of fighting. So I'm assuming it's your environment, maybe your parents, because they just didn't have a divorce. There's a buildup.
Right.
So you could have heard all of this. Now you can take your hand down just for a moment because I watched your body just shift a little bit. So when you were younger, you didn't know what to do with it. You felt the tension between them. You felt what was going on. You saw what was going on. Okay. I think you did not want the change to happen. Just like when your beautiful cat had passed on its change. Yes.
I remember something. My dad had a sister or whatever. We lived with it was my dad's grandma, so my great grandma. And I remember Aunt Kathleen, which I did not care for Aunt Kathleen because she always talked bad about my dad, that my dad took advantage of my grandma and da 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 and all this. And the thought I had just disappeared.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. The reason why it disappeared is because your body is still doing another timeline. Another timeline is your nerves about the fact you just lost someone you love. You cherished this animal. It wasn't just animal, it was a family to you. Okay.
Right.
And see, and I'm like, okay, did anybody say anything bad about our cat? No. So it wasn't that. It was just the cat's death somehow reminded you of it feels like a curse. Okay. So when you were little, I'm going back, I can see you at night trying to, I don't know if they fought at that time or if you were just awake at that time, but gallbladder is that time zone from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And there was a lot of overpowering energy that seemed to be in the house that you were aware of. Now, you may not understood it, but you were very aware of it. And you had to readjust because you didn't know what to do with it. So you're in right now.
I remember my mom walking on eggshells so my dad wouldn't get mad.
Mm.
And because he had a bad temper. And then this just made me think of a memory. I remember when I was, I don't know, 12, 14, and my mom and dad had been divorced and we were somewhere, and I got mad and I threw a knife in the sink and it bounced out on the floor. And then I was like, oh, I am not going to be like my father and have that angry issue thing, because
Okay.
that if someone would have been there, that knife could have got them. And I said, I'm not going to be like that.
Okay, so that's another readjustment. And that came up because they said it had to do with, again, incompatible with whatever is going on, but you have those raw emotions. Okay. And you saw, no, I don't want to be like my father. Now, sometimes when we do a knot, we throw out the baby with the bathwater. We need to have that balance. Doesn't mean you have to be like that, but there has to be a balance. And that means you have to not take the energy in when people are out of sync with you or the environment. And when they throw their stuff around, you don't have to go walk on eggshells because there's a part of you said, I don't want to do that. But I also don't want to sit there and take it. I also don't want to sit there and throw it out. So your options is that sometimes you don't know what to do with it. Now, this happened when your focus and your heart was somebody I love. It's changing. It's changed. I can't touch them. I can't give that love anymore. And so now my teeth are starting to taste metallic-y. And as I'm like, what do you mean? And your body's saying, well, I had to readjust. I had to readjust. You're showing me the energy of chase. And so you're doing a habit of this lofty energy of being around people that are lofty because they remind you of somebody. Go ahead.
That metal taste, I had some lemon water the other day, and I had like drink 4 or 5 glasses warm. I do it warm. And when I came home, it got cool, and I took a taste and I'm like, that tastes like metal. And then you just said that it tastes like metal.
Now, I noticed you paid more. Did you pay for 2 sessions? I didn't
Yes.
mean to. I meant to ask that, and I was like, shit. Okay. Okay. So the metal. And I'm asking spirit, and they said, well, this is the thing. Whatever occurred left a bad taste in your mouth. Not
Okay.
just, her drinking the water, but it's about how you had to readjust because life out here just got rocky. Life out here changed. Life out here is too overpowering. And I feel we're going to go back to age 7. And again, I'm seeing the chemical peptide dump of your emotions. They're not as strong, but it feels like a curse. It's like how we think bad stuff's happening to us. So when I say the word curse, what's your definition of it?
I don't know. Someone just put a spell on you so things would go bad.
Okay. And when I say, like, sometimes when you feel cursed, it's like I go to try to do something and I can't, it feels like something is stopping me from what I want. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And that's kind of like what your body felt like because you didn't know how to cope with this particular change or loss from what I can see at 7. You can no longer give love the same way because things have changed. You no longer can play the same way because of the change.
I did have a dog that ran out and got hit, and it became death, which I didn't know it, and they got rid of it. I could have been 7 around that time too.
And it feels like a curse. I mean, because usually when we have death and we can't do something, it's not just about words. There's this like, you can't cross the line. You can't go back to what you knew. You can't go for what you want. It literally feels like a block. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but this is coming up. This is coming up too. So I'm at the hotel and I'm working because I have bills. And then I'm like, okay, things are going good. Things are going good. And then I'm like, okay, am I supposed to stay or am I supposed to leave? And I don't feel like I'm receiving messages. And then all of a sudden it's like super heavy there because they have TVs on, which is on CNN. And it's just, and I'm just like, nope, I like peanut butter the TV and just block it. And
so what I'm seeing is that you know how to get yourself in your space, but when it's overstimulated. So in this case, the overstimulation is that your heart got broke. And then it made overstimulation of everything else. Before you could change everything, you could, be in sync with it, but it feels like the outside has a control over your emotions. So I'm just going to draw a card real quick and because this has to do with your job. You've come to this back to the full circle to, should I work there? Should I not work there? And then you feel like you want to go out and then you get pushed back in. And, and then sometimes it feels like a curse. So in this case, it says you're staying safe, but are you also stuck by having no stance, changing your stance or not defining yourself? You may be refusing to settle on a decision, refusing to commit, staying stuck in limbo, being wishy-washy. Now, right there, wishy-washy is all about bladder, being two-faced or tilting, whichever way the wind blows. So I'm going to look and see if there's two parts of you that, because I said there's something about you not giving yourself permission. Okay. You may not be allowed to develop this self. That's where all of a sudden I got the word self-abuse. You're not allowed. What age did you say you're not allowed? 7 years old. And you're not allowed. Take the word, I'm not allowed. And I have to readjust myself for everything around me. I'm not allowed. So if I ask Spirit, take and have you hold L1D, because you're sitting there and notice that you're not allowed. You're not, well, you know, I can't, I want to do this, but I can't. Feel how wishy-washy it is. I want to go out and find a different job. You already know you want to do that, but it's been just so in your head. You're not allowed. And when you feel that you want to step over the line, you hear you're not allowed, because now you have overstimulation that makes you not want to step over that line. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And your heart says, I'm frightfully overjoyed. I don't know what to do. I was frightened, but everything's okay. Like get in a car accident, and then all of a sudden, oh, good, I'm okay. I didn't die. Oh my God, somebody got hurt. Oh, but they're okay. So your body's, here you go. Just sit there and feel that just for a moment or two, because they said it's hard to be confident when you feel insecure. But the insecure has a lot to do with feeling that you just are not efficient enough, because you will work. You'll have all these things happen. Let's say you have a bill and you're like, what the hell? Why isn't it going down? I just slapped, tons and tons of money and it's still the same. Do you see what I'm saying? It looks like it's still the same.
Yes.
There you go. And it is, just keep holding.
Circle one is going off now into my back.
Now what you want to do is I want you to go, okay, I cancel, clear, and delete, and I take my power back. As I take my power back, I give myself permission to release that story. Because I was told that I couldn't, and I felt like I couldn't. After, and I'm looking, I can see you said a dog, and I can feel like you didn't know how to move beyond from that. So that feels like a curse. Fear of being bold. What if I go out there and get hit by a car? What if I, the what ifs are, hey, I'm hearing running. And what if I can't pay my bills? So let's put it into time zone you got now. What if I can't pay my bills? What if I ended up getting a different job and I don't like it? And I got more bills and then it's worse. And then it causes a fight, or the bank and I, or this or that. Can you feel how you just feel
exactly.
Like you can't get ahead? There you go. No,
exactly.
That's your heart. That's your heart.
That's my loop of being in survival mode. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What, where?
Now you're tapping into the panic, and tell me on a scale from 0 to 10, how much is there? Can you feel it?
It's about 5 or 6.
Okay. Now notice that you're like, if I step over this line, it's going to diminish me. I'm not going to it's like, like if you ever had a dream where you're going to throw a punch in and you're like, as soon as you go, wham, and all of a sudden it's like a little feather went, and you're like, there's no strength.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Keep feeling it. Keep breathing it through. We're going to start to remove, transcend, and let it go. Notice you just don't want your heart crushed. You know this. You know where you're at. You know this devil. I don't want to go out there and create it and feel that one. Like, doing just enough. You're doing your best. You're throwing yourself out there and you get yanked back to this point. My heart. I don't want my heart crushed. And I want you to feel how your heart is crushed about your beautiful cat.
Mm-hmm.
Remove, transcend, and let it go. Begin to notice did you get accused or anything about your cat, or no, he just died, or was there
I talked to Teresa, and my first message was that Jinx said I was his best mommy ever. And then the second message was that he chose to go
Yep.
there was another cat that came that was kind of out there, and I kept talking to him going, hey, have you talked to the new kitty? Have you talked to the new kitty? What's the new kitty doing? You know, mommy loves to love on all the kitties. You be nice, and so she'll come over here. And so he had said that he chose to leave so she could come in. And then my other cat was like, yeah, the girl kitty can come in the house.
But there's
But
a
I
part of
have
you that's petrified. I'm going to give you a few more minutes. A part of you is petrified because I know what you paid. So part of you is petrified. Did I do it? Did I cause it? Just like you did when you're 7. Did I do it? Did I cause it?
I told him because he was fighting one time, and I did make this comment. You have the choice. You can leave at any time.
Okay, now
Because
notice how you feel.
But I was mad at him.
Right, but can you feel how all of a sudden you're like, oh, did I cause this?
And then I also thought, why isn't another black kitty coming, showing up? Is he on his way out?
True, true. But notice the fear. Now why? Because there's a part of you that feels like you're in the way with your husband because of the time difference.
Pain
Yes.
right here in this arm and shoulder blade.
Right. That's your heart is crushed. Your heart is crushed. And seeing, and what you're pointing at, and I'm just so that people understand, is that this is the heart. It comes up and it goes out to the pinky. But at the same time, the triple warmer comes in and comes down like this, comes up and around and like this. So she is frightfully overjoyed. She is her heart, it's like, you still think it's your fault. That part of you. And now you're getting into what's called the raw. And it's the little girl that said, it's my fault.
With the dog when he ran across the street.
Yes.
We were doing something, playing. Yeah. And then I remember them saying, well, we didn't want her to chase him and get hit by a car because he lost his hearing. So they got rid of him.
So here's the thing. You did not know how to adjust to that pain, to that accusing, to that whole thing. So your body is like, I don't want to step out. I don't want to reach the cross. I don't want my heart crushed. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be here at this point. But you are in arrested development. You have to feel the raw. Feel the raw.
I feel
and vulnerability. Feel the vulnerability. And we're going to move, transcend, and let it go. And as we start to remove, transcend, let it go, I want you, there you go. I want you to just take the picture of going, I want you to feel it. Literally stare it down. As you stare it down, notice that I want you to just look through one eye as you stare it down. Remove, transcend, let it, there you go. Remove, transcend, let it go. Now switch over to the other eye, look at it again. I can't, who would I be if I was, so I feel a little confusion, remove, transcend, let it go. And I give myself permission to let it go. Now that I have more information, see, and the thing is I think you would have been fine, but somebody accused you. I feel someone accused you. And now we're going to bring in your husband because he was upset about something. And it's not that he accused you, but can you feel how the filters would be, oh, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't do this. Do you understand how it feels funny?
Right. Right. And then that would be remembering my ex-husband.
There you go.
Sometimes he'll do something. And then there was one thing, because I like take a deep breath to try to breathe. Mm-hmm. And that was a trigger for my husband now, because he used to say that his wife he would do something wrong, but she would never say anything. She would just breathe deep. So then he was like, oh crap, here comes an argument.
Right, so there's his trigger.
That's his trigger. So when I'm breathing, I'm just breathing.
Yes, but feel the scaredness of it. Feel the scaredness, feel the raw. Now I feel like this is something you're going to be working on because I see you have several pictures, but I also feel like you're also breaking out of an arrested development, which means you have the habit very deep. See, there's a little bit you shift. As you're looking at it, what number does it feel? Because this controls your whole body.
Well, if I go by the pain in my shoulder and my back, it's like an 8 or 9.
If
But
we
if
center the body,
I'm looking up, I just see the number 3.
okay, so I want you to go to the pain and I want you to say, notice that it's really not real. You stored the voice, you stored the pictures, you stored the fear, and it turned into pain. If you were to pull that out of the nerves, say, I got the message.
I got the message.
You pull the pain out in front of you so you can stare at it. So if the pain's in the back, pull it out. Just dial it, tune it in, bring it in the front. As you do so, start dialing the pain down. Does that feel good, bad, or indifferent?
It went down some.
Okay, does that feel good, bad, or indifferent?
Better than it did.
Now I want you to go back in and I want you to feel like it's cloudy and heavy. And if that's what it feels like for you, how about making it clear and making it weightless and bringing it out to the front to have it disappear? Does that feel good, bad, or indifferent?
About the same.
About the same. Why do you need to hold on to it? It's about how you readjusted. And this is how you had to heal, cope, handle, and deal. And so you're meant to, from this point forward, to see how you readjusted and stop yourself. This is where you're classing of how you're going to be saying, oh shit, I'm doing it. Notice that I readjusted when he said this word. Notice that, you understand? So you can take your hand down, and what's going to happen is that I want you to notice that the pain has a lot to do with feeling like you lack power, because your fear says something bad's going to happen. So you're going to look at what's consuming you. What's the consequences that you don't want to happen? And you're going to be able to do this, and you're going to hold L3D. And when you start to feel small, simply feeling small. Oh, I got to make myself small. I can't show up this way. It's now you have to face your not.
Okay.
Okay, remove, transcend, let it go. And when you do, begin to notice how you've identified yourself as I have to feel small in order to have peace. You're done with that imbalance of karma, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, so you got some homework to do. And thank you, Spirit. You asked Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me when I'm doing it. Thank you. And then you're going to give yourself permission. I give myself permission to heal this, okay? Literally, you're going to make sure you tap your head and your heart, and you're going to give yourself permission to release that pain. Because right now you're like, I got to hold on to it because I caused it. Which it's so forgiveness. I'm not asking you to forgive. I'm asking you to let it go, all the issues, and forgiveness will become yours once that little girl develops. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. You can do a little bit, and then the thing is, when it comes to your next part with your cat, you're going to make sure you do R2S because you feel very helpless.
And then it was L3S, the first one.
So you're going to do R2S with the cat, I'm helpless, and L3D, feeling small.
Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome,
you, and I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Now, remember, you don't have to keep the pain. We're going to eventually get the full range of your shoulders back, so you don't have to carry that weight on your shoulders anymore. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you later, honey.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I forgot what day this was. It's Thursday, my Thursday. So let's go to Jennifer. And then thank you, Jennifer, for being so kind of waiting. I appreciate that. So to give you a few more minutes, and I will do just that. Hi, people in the room. How are you doing? If I'm emphasizing while watching the show, should I hold the points along with them? Yes, you can. Kelly, yes, you can. Because it resonates of the energy. And if it feels familiar to you, that means you have an end result somewhere and it's ready to pass. So if you hear me say, hold a certain point, yes, because pretty much when I'm going to teach Success Hope Therapy, you'll start to notice that the emotions are meant to be in a particular place. Sometimes they can invade, sometimes they can do other little things. But other than that, and it helps. Oh, April said she does. Do you get results from it when you do too, April? And we're going to get Jennifer in the room. Yeah, hold on. Did you get anything out of listening to her? Because we appreciate all these beautiful souls that are coming on, giving me consent to have the to use their face and their voice and their stories so we can help other people. Hello, can you hear me, hon?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yep, and there's the artwork. Just back in the
I had
room,
to-
people.
I had to work on turning the other off so it wasn't feedback.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, like I promised, I'm going to give you a few extra minutes. So with
Okay.
those extra minutes, if you want to start talking about catching up, this is just something we always do, or you can jump right into your issue. You choose.
Okay, well, some ketchup. Anyway, catching up, not ketchup. Ketchup is what you put on a hamburger.
Oh, good.
Anyway. So the other day, so I have a little timeline to give you because I've been working this stuff out with my mom, and she's been helping me go in the Wayback Machine to figure things out.
Thanks, Mom.
I'm grateful to have the mom that I do. So the other day you said to talk to little 4-year-old, me, 4-year-old. So I did, and she is pissed off. So, and she's like, finally, somebody's gonna listen. So anyway, so the timeline is at 3 years old. So I turned, we both have summer birthdays, so you know that. So I turned 3 and I went to preschool. It was at a Catholic preschool. And that was the year that I was mute because I was pissed off that my mom went back to work and the staff didn't even know if I could talk. They didn't even know if I have verbal skills. I was so pissed. I would like, my little 3-year-old was like holding my little protest sign saying F you, like, but like not knowing, that's the nose cut off, spite face. So then that happened. So then it was that Thanksgiving that we traveled to go see my grandma, my dad's mother, who's Margaret, that is my middle name. That's why I'm hearing it so much lately, I think, is because it's this issue. So we went to my uncle, my dad's brother. We went to his house, and my dad managed to set up the exact template for me and my sister that he and his brother have. He can't stand up to his brother. It's like carbon copy onto us, number one. And during that time, so we were going to the hospital to see my grandma. She was sick, she was dying, that was what was going on. But at my uncle's house, so he got completely loaded one night. His ex-wife shows up and he just became like tyrant, alcoholic, like blah, blah, blah. And my dad didn't stand up and say like, quit doing this in front of my family. He told his family, you better run to the basement. So we went to the base. That's where I learned about the video game Pong. So that was fun fact.
Video game, not beer thing.
Not beer pong, like actual Pong, like video game. Like that's how old I am. So anyway, so that's when I became terrified of men and realized that they could be monsters.
Oh,
And
yes.
So last night when I was talking to my mom about this, because I wanted the timeline, and I said, my little 4-year-old girl is like, nobody asked me what I wanted to do at that time. Nobody talked to me. I was and so my mom told me, she goes, well, I grew up with alcoholics, so it was just another event to live through. And she goes, I was pissed, but it was like, that's what happened. And she's like, it was another thing that happened, and we just went on, and that was that. So then that Christmas time is when I got purpura. That was that I was allergic. It's an allergic reaction to a virus. And my mom was like, you could have picked up a virus at school. I was like, well, okay, maybe. But also that was, we have talked about this. That was like, was I going to stay on the planet? So I got the timeline right. And so that was, my mom told me last night, because we were going over this. She told me, you were somewhere else. You were not in your body. We were for 2 weeks, we thought you were going to die. We had to carry you around the house because you couldn't walk. You laid in your beanbag, and the doctor had no idea how to help you whatsoever. Your dad and I were just like so scared that you were going to die. And then also at that time in my life, I was sharing a room with my sister, which she hated. But anyway, so I got the timeline correct to get to my little 4-year-old self, who's just like, man, nobody asked me. Like, I have opinions. My little 4-year-old self has a ton. So anyway, so that's the timeline.
Okay, so do you remember being in your crib around 2 months old? I know it's gonna be laughing at me, like she's gonna remember that, but she does, because
Wait, do I remember what?
When you were you were 2 months old, I think you were in the crib, your mother said, she's disconnected.
I was 6 months old. I was 6 months old when I was no longer able to take in love, because my twin that left in the womb, that was the vanishing of that energy.
Yes.
And my mom looked at me and knew that I couldn't take in love.
Right, at 2 months old is when it started.
Oh, okay.
And it was, nobody asked me, because they're showing me that you're like, yeah. And the reaction to the virus, the purpura, was, nobody asked me. And now you're running. You've been running. You came in and goes, hold on, I'm protesting. I don't want to freaking be here. So you've been running. And I'm looking, and it's like the reaction to your nerves. And I said, could you give me a little bit more on that? Because somehow it's related. And they said, yes. Now, as that's happening, I've got this part of my right brain starting to hurt right there. Woo! And it's making my hormones just off enough that I feel like I'm going to have a hot flash. They said that you had developed, so the reaction, usually when you say like an allergic reaction, that's more of a genetic nature. But in this case, you had an intolerance. You had an emotional intolerance. And I said that that's one reason why you kind of felt creating a reaction to this virus. And they said, yes. And I said, what's it about? Nobody asked me. That's what I hear. And I said, okay, so you have this intolerance.
I had answers.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, tell me more. And you're saying, well, I have impending doom. And I said, what is it that you have a conclusion about that you think is going to happen again? Yes. Ooh,
so
yeah.
Impending doom.
Yes.
I was going to write that down. I learned from Brene Brown what the phrase "the other shoe is going to drop" means, and where it came from was in the Industrial Revolution, when everybody was like, live in ghetto, living on top of each other. They would hear the shoes drop above them, and so you would be going on, and you would hear the bang of the one shoe, and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. That took me back to what happened at my uncle's, because I heard it upstairs. Anyway, so
no, that makes sense, because there's a part of you at this point. This is related to how this conclusion happened, and you were irrelevant. Well, nobody asked me. So when I go back, they said, well, we're going to go back at least 6 lifetimes. Oh, this is interesting, because it went 6 lifetimes, but it also then said it had to do with the way the genetics. So if I say which came first, the genetic, yes. So oh, wow. Okay, so this is where it gets very convoluted, people. So we're going to go back 6 generations on your father's side, but we're also going to notice that, yes, there's that connection. But 6 lifetimes ago that she traveled, she connected up with the same story that she's doing now. So she's doing fractal past life genetic timelines. I'm literally watching how these are. And I feel like you've done this before, because I see a paradox line that doesn't make any sense.
I was in Novi the other night, and that's Novi, no, N-O period V-I is the number 6 train that town was named after.
Okay, now this is where, oh my God.
Connections.
So now we're looking at how your spine is holding the story. And as I'm looking, you were quite hysterical in those timelines. This time you felt hysteria on the outside. You didn't quite muster it first as I can't hold these emotions. So, but you've noticed it with people on the outside and how they couldn't hold the emotions. So with you, you did not know how to deal with it. And I think that's when you also decided to disconnect and say, I protest, I'm not going to be here fully. Number two, I'm also going to hold depression because I can't make it stop. You grow up. You heal your shit. I feel like you're like, I have already did how many lifetimes to fix this, and now I've come back to this. That's why it's a fractal. It pops back up. So I'm going to ask Spirit as we look at the conclusion. The conclusion has to do with hysterical helplessness. And I kind of like feel in a way you've done this when it comes to, you're getting stronger when it comes to love. I'm helpless. I can't make it stop. I'm hysterical. I can't change these emotions.
So the other night when I was in the hotel room and I was crying my head off about, it was triggered by twin flame, but then like about other things. And then I stopped. I'm staring at the sprinkler in the hotel room. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the little girl deciding that I'm just going to have hell? Like, because I had a really positive day that day and going for job things. And then here I am at night and I'm like, well, this is bullshit. Like,
Right. And this is
I'm recognizing the little girl and I'm like, okay, she can't be in charge anymore.
Exactly. Now, at the time, she used false meaning to create a false reality. You've been living that part of that false reality, because I can see again, you had a paradox where you fixed it, but came up as a fractal. And what I see is this, the raw of how the little, see, it's not even your raw. This is the weird part. Your soul saying, I've already taken care of this. But the little girl says, but it's true. It happened. I was irrelevant and I've got this. So she built up this false reality. So it was a power of choice. But when you were crying, so you were in her raw instead of your raw.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was, and I was like, what the?
Right. So it's on your nerves still.
Yeah.
And I said, and how is it? Why is this? And I said, it's related to your talk. Ouch. I just put, left hand pokes right hand. Yin pokes yang.
Right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
Yes, because the pen usually is in this hand. Okay, so yes, we got to get pen back in your hand, not the little girl. And she's saying that the language, not her, your future self is tattling, because it's like sitting back going, because now you can hear the 4-year-old, you are now able to hear the whole story. You got to get rid of sour graping.
Okay.
Sour thinking, sour graping, and talking, thinking, acting, because it's not you, it's her, and keeps creating false realities.
Yep, like so, I can see the pulling apart.
Yep, and remember, you've had so much experience now. You're the leader. Okay, you know, just like with your denomination, you newbie. Oh my God, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. Da 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 da. And then you go out and you get all these experiences. Oh, you have to go over here and get this experience. You've done it. You have years under your belt now, and now you're like, yeah, I'm not repeating this shit. I've already done it. Now you can truly say, because when you're younger, I know everything, which is unconscious and competent. And then you peek out and you're like, and so then you had to learn experiences. Now you understand there's more to know. So you're not quite saying, I know it all. Listen to me. You're like, I have information. I understand it better. And now I can step up as that leader. The little girl's going, yeah, no, nobody asked me.
Well, yeah, let's tank the love life.
Oh, yeah. Yes. See, you're bound to determine that you're actually going to have your I want to say business and then love life. You're like, but I'm having it now. And the only thing that's actually stopping you is that this little girl, and she's saying, don't blame me, blame how you believe in thinking, feeling, acting very sour graping. So you're going to look up sour graping and you're going to see all of how it fits in your world, how you created to build that false reality. And then you get to dismantle it. One of the things you're going to do is L3S, left wrist, third position, soft. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You got this.
Thank
Thank you so much. Well, it's always a trip and fun. All right. Bye, hon. Okay. So the third person that's paid, let me just double check, see how she wants to do it. Was Jennifer Osika, is she here? And let's see what she's got. If she wants to talk, if she wants to come in. You know, again, she don't have to use video, or we can do it in the room. Miss Osika. Miss Osika. You'll find her. Now, see, I love when we can chat and talk and see and hear these different things so that we can sit there and realize, oh my God, yes. Now I'm going to have to chuck along here. You'll call in, excellent. Because I forgot that I have be out of here by a little after before 2:30, so about 2:25 I'll have to go. So I'll have to eventually do that. Let me get onto finding Miss Jeno, and I'm going to send you the link. You're going to have to probably go look at, to get the link, you'll have to go and look into the personal profile thingy. So while she's doing that, I have got to go to the bathroom. So hopefully, you know, by the time that happens, so we're just going to have you do the link, and you just sign in. Don't use video, because that's the way we're doing the call-ins. Okay, we'll see how it works. And my screen's like, is it cooperating? No, it's not, but it's going to have to. Here we go. We'll see if she can find the link. How you doing, wonderful people? And this is one of my friends from Michigan as well. These are my two gems. These are my loves that I've had in my friendship world that just have been with me for, you can't get in that way. Okay, I don't know how clear it's going to be, but it's right, you have an iPhone. So Spirit always has an answer. Thank you, Spirit, for making this happen. I'll just take that one out. And this way, hey, when I do connect with you, Miss Jeno, you can actually turn the video on if you wanted with me. So I'm going to call you. I gotta turn it up though. Oh, it's gonna be. Hold on, let me see if I can get the volume up, because I can't seem to get the volume up. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I mean barely. So I'm not sure what's happening. Well, this is a volume. Well, that sucks. Nope. Nope, let me see. I don't know if that'll gonna make a difference. Not sure. Oh, my mic's up there. That would help. Okay, well, we'll do our best. Press speaker. Oh, she says, somebody says, do you got a speaker button?
On my phone.
Yeah. Because I don't have any other buttons that I can see that I can do.
Can you hear me any better?
Not really. Let's say use volume keys. No, that might have to, no. On your phone, Brenda. Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Hold on. She said, oh, hold on. That's beautiful, but I don't know how because I didn't call her through a regular phone. I called her through Facebook. Because if I mute, oh, this. What does that do?
Hello.
Yay!
Hello,
Oh, thank you, Kelly. Yes, I can hear you. That's definitely a new feature I didn't even know about. Okay. Now we
Yeah,
got,
teach you about new things.
I'm all for it. All right. All right. How can I help you, hon?
I need some help.
All right.
I got a lot of pain going on and I need to build a walk. I'm not walking.
Oh, wow. Okay. So which foot, left or right?
Right.
And is it more towards the knee or the foot?
Actually, it's my Achilles tendon.
Okay. That's your will.
But also it's the bottom of my pad and the top of my foot. I think there's gout in that.
Okay.
But
in this one, this is what I'm seeing. Okay. You don't have energy moving through that. Your will, which is the bladder meridian, the energy of the nerves, they come down, they look funky by the knee, and then it goes straight down and it's like really tight. So if you ever had a massage and someone said, oh my God, your legs are so tight, or the backside of you is so tight. Okay.
Yeah. Actually PT, when I was there yesterday, and yeah, he says he does something to move the circulation back there, but yeah, he said, yeah. It's tight. Okay.
So you've had this for a very long time. I said, when did that occur? They said 3 years old. And the emotions that you felt of the people that happened in front of you, what was happening to you, if they were your emotions. And they said that you had to readjust. Oh my God. And you didn't know what it was. So you had to readjust. Do you remember anything that's happened at 3?
That's not my grandma, is it?
Yes. So yes. To let everybody know, just real briefly, you were 3 years old. You were where?
In a store.
And what happened?
With my grandma, and she dropped dead.
Okay. That would scare the crap out of a child. Yes.
Yes.
So you reject that out of your reality, from what I can see, your will. And as I'm looking at your will, you have your suspicion, your body saying, I'm suspicious of certain things. And I said, what are you suspicious of? That I'm going to be forced to readjust to everybody's decisions about what they want to do. I can't do it. So right now, I think your family and everybody's doing these decisions around you, and you don't want to lose them. Is that true?
There's a lot going on. Yes, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
All right. So when you were little, you had learned helplessness. You did not know what to do when she dropped dead in front of you, and you had to readjust, but nobody really thought to talk to you. They just kind of threw you in the background and you didn't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So because you don't have a voice in your relationships now with all that's going on, are you listened to, or do they just ignore your voice?
I think I was also blamed too. I think they also blamed me. That's a big thing I have going on with that.
Yep.
With my grandma situation. Right now with the voice, some hear me, some don't.
Okay, so the people that you really want to not lose, they really can't hear you. And I'm
That's
looking.
my son. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I see is a repulsion. So the energy in your body is doing I can't be compatible like two magnets. So the two magnets, all of a sudden, that should be coming together, instead of being in the opposite, or how does it, instead of being able to be in the natural process, you can't come into alignment because of this energy. It's like, whoop, you're way over here. I'm looking, and you're doing a repulsion, and you're doing a -3. And I said, why are you doing a -3? Because it's the toxins of being very sensitive. And so you're going to, do you have a piece of paper, pencil handy at all?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're going to write on this piece of paper, toxins and sensitivity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just hold on. We're going to talk about it in just a second here. Okay. And there's something about I have to remain wishy-washy about me, and I have to live outside myself and live everybody else's life because I don't want to have to readjust. And we're going back to that 3 years old. She's very shy and timid. So you got only half of you that's coming forward because you said it was what, the right leg, right
Oh
foot?
God, yes. Oh yeah, I'm trying to move for, I think you're gonna put that paper on me. I'm
Yes.
trying to move, so
Yes.
yes, it's my right foot.
Well, the right foot is the ability to take action, to be assertive. And a part of you knows that you have to step up to be Miss Jennifer Osika, the healer, the communicator, the spirit guide, helper. And the thing is like, but I have to take care of my kids. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to leave. Do you feel that?
Uh-huh.
So you're holding on desperately. And so I asked, so why is it this particular thing? She said the son. I said, have you seen this before? Yes, at 3 years old. Why? So what did you and your grandma, did you get along nice, or did she have to be strict with you because you run off, or what was the story? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I probably did what I wanted to do. So maybe she was strict or trying to be strict, and I was bold-headed and did what I wanted to do.
Right. And did you get hysterical? And that means you weren't able to control your emotions, so you threw tantrums. Did you throw tantrums as a kid?
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Yes. Okay. So your reenactment that you're having now from then was, I want a particular outcome. So can you see, as a child, you have a particular outcome, you want this, and you're going to throw hysteria, you're going to have a fit, so you can change her behavior before she can change yours. Now let's go into now. And is that same thing happening? I want a particular outcome, he doesn't, and I'm doing my best not. Okay. So all you're doing is doing the duplication. But because you restricted it at 3, the right side where you're meant to be assertive, your body's going, we can't. And then you've been maturing and you're like, but I won't sit there and do this, meaning whatever it is that you did. So you're having a lot of conflict going on inside of your body. And I said, so what is that has to do? And it says, I don't want. And I says, what don't you want? I don't want to have to readjust. Okay, so let me just sit for just a second, because left side is that intuition. You have no problem there. It flows through. And the right, so you actually have conflict between the two halves of you right now. Like for instance, for me, when my foot like used to kick off, it'd be, I'm not willing to use my intuition in certain places because it's not warranted, based on someone saying, oh, all you do is listen to spirit. Okay. And so then I don't want to hear that. So my program is that I will stop myself and my body will show how I'm holding on to it. Okay. So now for you, I feel like you had restricted yourself, that I will see the thing is, your behavior is still there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a unique way of communicating to get what I want. And you know where I'm going with this, because we talked about it years ago and you still haven't resolved it. How your behavior is about certain situations to get what you need, correct?
My manipulation.
Yeah. You said it.
Okay.
You said it. Not me.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
That's what it was.
Yes. Okay. But now you don't want that. And you're trying to change that part of yourself. And that's what you've been doing for a long time. But and at the same time, it worked for you. Here's the problem. It worked for you. I said, when did it work for you? 3 years old. And it's about that manipulation. It worked. And I said, did it work to help me get over what happened with grandma? So you manipulated yourself into knowing how to cope, handle, and deal with it. And I think you manipulated people around you to, that's weird, because I feel like you've been separated with yourself for a long time. Give me a second to figure what this is. Oh God. Do you have people that constantly are shaming you or guilting you? Or do you use that on them?
I would think probably my son feels like I do it on him.
Okay, okay. So he's thinking you're doing it to him because you're in two different mindsets right now. Yes, and so you're like, but that's, hold on. Now my head's starting to really hurt. And they're saying that you have been growing and don't want to change certain parts because it worked for you as a kid, but you don't want to remain that way anymore. I mean, hey, it helps. It gives you what you want. But at the same time, you also know, I don't want that. I want them to show me they really do love me their way. Just show me any attention. And I feel like the reason he can't give you the attention, is that true that he can't really give you the attention? Is it true?
I feel like it is.
Okay, that's what we want to know. When your grandma died, you couldn't get her attention. You could not get her to talk to you because she was dead. Now he's alive. Big freaking difference. But you still can't get him to talk to you.
Right.
That's it. Hold L1D. You're frightfully overjoyed. You're frightfully overjoyed. You're stuck.
Yeah.
Now measure it from 0 to 10.
What's a 10?
Okay, I want you to feel the pain. Just feel the pain.
Can I feel the pain in my foot too? Because I'm really bad.
Yes, yes. I see that you paid more, so I will give you an extra time. Oops. Just keep feeling it and notice that the body's responding and that how the will has been frozen, how nothing is moving. It's okay. Feel it. Feel it. All of these engrams, all of these things associate. See, he's not talking to me, just like my mother or my grandma. Just see, look. Oh my God, I can't handle death.
Right.
I can't.
I tried, and he just doesn't.
That's what you did as a kid. You tried and tried and tried and tried. And the thing is now I'm being that little girl, and she says, well, they're going to blame me for this because everybody I think around you didn't like your tantrums when you were little. And you had to change and readjust yourself. Because now my right side by my ovaries and my right hip are like excruciating because energy's trying to come back up. Do you have problems with the pelvic floor?
No, but my back has been bothering me, I think, because my gait is off so bad.
The gait is off, yes, because you've been overcompensating by the walk.
Yeah.
But the reason I said that the pelvic floor is like, I feel like you lose a lot of strength there. The pelvic floor holds up all of these wonderful organs, intestines, and female parts and things like this, and you need the floor. I feel like your floor, you haven't been able to readjust yourself to get the results you're looking for. Okay, you're being that little girl. It's all you're doing. I just watching her. I can't wake her up. I can't get him. I can't get her. So you've been fighting yourself. And being an adult now, you've been trying to not be that because you want to be a part of these kids' world. And did you have the same issue with your other child? With pain? Did you have the pain when you were trying to communicate with your other child?
Well, we went through an incident before she left, but we've taken care of that. So
okay, and when there was a marriage, was there problems? Because I think you went away. How did your body cooperate then?
Oh, I used to get sick all the time. My immune system was just
okay. So when there's a part of you that you're afraid that you're not going to get the love back. Again, I'm looking at your little self going, I know what it's like not to have the love.
Yeah.
And you see in your brain of the little child is, I don't get it. All it does is that feel of that raw. She's like, I don't get it. I can't.
I say that all the time. I say that to my close people. I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get how my son doesn't talk. I don't get this.
Right. And
I
remember,
don't understand this.
he's your reenactment. You've had this before. You had it at 3 and your heart is aching and you haven't been able to process that heartache when you were 3. You get to do it now.
Okay.
So it's like oh, there you go. There you go. You're going to start to you're going to just clear it out. Clear it out. So you're going to uncreate and de-story. Oh, but see, now your little self said, but what if? But what if? It's like, if I get rid of this, what if? So who would you be without it? Who would you be without this story? You know what gets you and pulls you in is when they take offense. Ah, they're still alive. I'm not getting that when grandma died. She's not taking offense. She's not getting upset. She's not correcting me. Whereas he's still doing it. He's still alive. So your body is very much stuck at 3 years old. We're going to remove, transcend, and let it go, because it's like the love is unreceived. I'm giving you love. Wake up and breathe, grandma. I'm doing what you want, grandma. I mean, you're trying very hard. Just feel the body. Feel how the love is unreceived. Bring the raw, fresh experience with your son. Feel how the love is unreceived. And you're like, but I've changed my behavior. I'm doing this. Why can't you love me? See, I'm different. I'm different. You're trying to prove to grandma how different you are. Please wake up and not be dead. You're doing the reenactment with your son. Remove, transcend, and let it go. Now, I want you to look through just your right eye and feel the pain. Now, can you see it? Can you see how they got their back towards you, or you're not seeing their face?
Yes.
Okay, how strong is that? A big fat 10?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Look at it, look at it, look at it. Remove, transcend, let it go. Now switch eyes. Now look through just the left. Are they looking at you yet, or are they still have their back towards you?
Their back is to me.
Okay, now you're going to feel the pain. They aren't receiving you. They're not hearing you. They're not. Remove, transcend, and let it go. Go back over to the one that was a 10. What is it now?
I think they want to turn around, but they're not.
All right, now notice the duration, how long it's taking. Now you got a button panel in front of you. I want you to imagine you're dialing it so they turn around quicker. You've given them permission that and yourself to see them. That do they have to have an ugly face? Do they have to be angry face? Do they have to? So turn it around. You got the dial. As you dial it, so the duration is very short. Does that feel good, better, and different? That it's no longer being stretched out.
That feels better.
Okay, good. Now notice that there's this pressure that's with it. Turn around, turn around. Or the pressure is, oh my God, don't turn around. I'm afraid what you're going to do. There's pressure. Now I want you to take the pressure off. And as you start to do that, remove, transcend, let it go. Look through the left eye. What number do you have? And tell me what you feel.
My heart is racing. My heart is racing so fast right now.
This is your decision that says, I got to readjust. I got to do something. I have to fix it. I have to fix it. Remove, transcend, let it go. Switch over to the right. And what do you feel now? Do you hear heart still feeling racing? You feel like you have to fix it? Do you have to keep pushing?
No, it feels calmer.
Okay. As you look at it, and we started off with 10, what number do you feel you are now?
Out of my right, I would say maybe a 4 or 5.
Good, good, good. Now you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to make sense. I just don't know. I just don't know. Now notice how you're grabbing. Oh, yeah, making sense of it. Okay, yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason. You're starting to build false realities. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, it's because of this. I'd rather this. And then what's happening is your nerves can't be calm because you're trying to find reasons, and you're grabbing. Remove, transcend, let it go. Stop grabbing and just drop and just let them turn around. Remove, transcend, let go. Switch over to the other eye. What do you have now? Do you still feel like you got to readjust?
I'd say I'm at 3 over
Okay,
here.
and you feel like you're unworthy now. Can you feel the unworthy feeling? Like, oh, I'm so angry, I can't look at you.
That I'm unworthy.
Yeah, that they look at you and think, oh, I'm not going to look at you right now. You're just not worth looking at or being with. Do you understand?
Oh. Oh, yes, yes, I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
So is that true? And it is, the fact is that you need to change it now. Feel how they think that and the color and all that, and just turn it and change it and say, is it true? Actually, it's not. Your ego is trying to say, yes, it is. I have reason to believe it is because I had to hold on this pain. We're going to move, transcend, let it go. Switch over to the other eye. I forgot which eye I'm on now, but I want you to notice that there's overwhelm, but it doesn't hurt you as much.
Yes.
Now you have a dial in front of you. You can turn it back so that it's no longer overwhelmed. It's calm. And when you do that, does it feel good?
Yes.
Now switch eyes. Now go over to the other eye. And do you feel like it's cursed? It's like this keep repeating, same Groundhog Day. It keeps repeating. I can't get out of this. I can't get out of this. Can't get out of this. I want you to put your finger on it. And then you're going to turn the dial and notice that you just got the exit door to get out. You're like, oh, I'm done with this. Feel the loop stop. Feel it stop.
Got it.
Good. Remove, transcend, let it go. Switch over to the other eye. And I want you to notice that there's a part of you that says, oh, I'm going to have to behave this way. I'm going to have to. Part of you is like, doesn't really know how to finish the sentence. I'm going to have to behave this way. Oh, this has been the conclusion. And I want you to push the button. There's a button like a plus sign or something that says, no, I can choose to behave this way. And I want you to like, I want you to notice that I can behave with love. I can behave with calmness. I don't have to show up the way you want. I don't have to play these games. I don't have to. And when you do that, tell me if it feels good, better, and different.
I'm gonna hit that button.
Okay.
There you go. I don't have to show up like this.
Good, good. Now notice that everything changes. Feel like the outside has this energy that accepts you as you are with love. And now I want you to imagine the inside. I want you to pull up a good memory. I want the giggles to come in. I want you to just pull up something very cute, not to cry about, but if you feel like you're going to cry about it, just say, wait, why do I have to take a good memory and cry about it?
Right.
Hold on.
With my son.
Yep.
Are you talking with my son?
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I got my good memory. I got my
Yep,
good
yep, yep.
memory.
And notice that you have this and you can carry that energy out. You two don't have to show up this way anymore. And now we're going to just let grandma understand that grandma's health. Tell the little girl that was grandma's health. Grandma didn't eat right or she didn't exercise. Get more information. She's old. She was old. And the thing is notice that it wouldn't have mattered whether you did it or not. She would have dropped dead because it was a soul contract. Help the little girl know this. And when she does, I want, to dial it until she goes, oh yeah, I get it. Dial it until you get it. Remove, transcend, and let it go. And as you do, you can stop readjusting and being afraid that people are going to die or leave you.
Okay.
And you don't have to leave it anymore. Say, okay, I'm going to rip that contract, throw that away, and realize that who's been around. I mean, your husband's been with you. How many years now have you guys been together?
30 years.
And your mother and you and your sisters, you've been together.
Yes.
So it's not really true that people just leave.
Yes.
And your animals have been with you, So get to the joy. And I want you to start to see what the color of the joy, or not color. Well, you can, but as you look through which eye are you looking through real quick?
I go back to my right.
Okay. And can you see the joy?
I see pink.
And what number is it? We need to have a big fat 10. What do you got?
For the joy?
Yeah.
I would say an 8.
Now you're going to dial it up until it makes you giggle.
Okay.
And then you're going to remove, transcend any negativity. You're going to switch eyes. And now tell me what you see in the other eye with the same story of the joy. Higher or lower, the same?
About the same.
Okay, so
I'm going to dial that up.
Dial it up
because I can be at 10. I am worthy
Yep.
for a 10.
Now I want you to feel inside how your heart and your mind know how you know you've had this before and you can apply it to the now.
I feel much lighter now.
Good, good. Check your
And
pain. Good.
My heart doesn't feel like it's like I said, there was something off with my heart. I could feel something. I was actually kind of nervous something health-wise was going, but yeah, I don't feel as heavy. I don't feel as heavy now.
Now, when I'm looking at your foot, I'm looking to see if there's any frozen energies. They said no. And they said that the readjust is that you're going to start catching when your habit of, I have to readjust myself because they don't like this part of me. I have to readjust myself, and then you got the other part of you says, well, I'm going to force who I am on them. But there you go. And you just have to say, stop. I can look at this pattern and just say, can I show up differently? So you're going to start doing homework. You're going to do a little homework. Okay.
Different. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So how are you doing? How's the pain? Because you came on, you're feeling a certain way. Do you feel the same?
I know I feel much better.
And what about your
I
foot?
was so out of it. I felt like I was so out of it. Like I wasn't, like, I don't even know where I was. I'm like, where the hell am I?
Yeah, because
I'm stuck in this pain, and that's all I've been stuck in.
Exactly. Now, also on that piece of paper, you're going to say, I give myself permission to heal. And then you know how to do the 4 breaths that I taught you. Do you remember it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you're going to do. You're going to choose the thymus or the belly button, or have 2 pieces of paper, whatever you choose to do, because there's a part of you that feels like you're not disconnected, you're not connected with your lower half. So I would also tell you to do the belt flow, which is you grab that one side of your body and you slide your hands across and then down the seam of your,
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep.
Do both sides and just kind of say, where's my belt? Where's my belt? My belt. Whoops, my pants fell off. Do that a couple
Yes.
times. Do the couple rounds of the repulse and compatibility healing. Make sure you do the breath properly.
The breath, which one am I doing that? I give
So when you
myself
put the,
permission to heal.
yep, on that piece of paper that had you right, yep, you're going to put it wherever you want to, on the belly button or your thymus. And remember, you breathe in and you hold your breath, and then you breathe out.
Yeah.
And hold your breath,
Yeah.
and then pant, and then regular breathing. But during that time, you make sure you start at the forehead to go to the back of the neck, do at least
Yes.
2 rounds of tapping. When you get to the back of your neck, lift your hand off, start again on the front. Okay.
Okay. In which statement am I saying?
Basically, you're just putting that on your body, and you just concentrating on all that's on that piece of paper. Your intention is that you've got this, you're clearing it. You don't have to say anything as much as take and do the actions. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. Hon.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you,
I
thank you.
appreciate you. Okay. You
Love you, honey.
love you
Yeah.
too. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
So that was a good, interesting healing. And we can do so much with the way we look at life, heal life, because your body is this big ass electromagnetic energies and emotions that can be there. Now, I'm going to look again real quick, see what's happening. And we have Amy that's coming up. I'm going to do the 1 minute because she said yes to that. And then we'll bring Amy on. So I'm going to look at, oh, well, I got to look at the right screen first. I can get to my messages. Okay. So tell me, are you getting information out of all these healings, all of these things? I'd like to hear back from you. So I'm going to make sure that, did you like the board? Do you want more of that? However we want to do this. Okay. So first person we're going to have is Patricia, Miss Patty. It's interesting because the impending doom is, someone is getting close to releasing their what? So the energy between you and whoever this person is, you can feel them releasing their lofty energy. It's like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. I don't know if I like this. And your body is saying, I'm still taking and getting upset by it. The twang is still there. And your body's kind of, your mind is getting better. Your body goes, we want this gone altogether. So the magnetic changes inside, so you don't have to call these people to do a reenactment. So L1D, I want you to do L1D. You're like, but I don't want my heart crushed. So notice how you know your heart is crushed when you have to communicate with whoever it is. Okay, you're going to be able to do that, L1D. Because how you went, was your coping tool. I want you to really focus on it, get it down to 0. We're going to take in Miranda. Here we go, Miranda. Inefficient. Myself and my emotions. Deep heartache. Wow. I feel like it's not on the surface. I think your body is they're showing me your middle part of your body right here, which was what we call the spare tire. I said, what are you trying to tell me about this? And they said, I have to readjust. And you're like, but I'm deficient. I don't know how to stop readjusting. And so they're saying the word disdainfulness. Look up the word disdain, get that information. And then you're going to notice when you feel naked, that they see you, you are self-conscious of showing up. See, now we're in the cranial aspect. And you're holding on to how you used to show up. They're saying, go back. Oh, feels like a curse. Feels like you can't really be yourself. I'm not sure exactly what they said. Okay, next person. We're going to talk. Alicia. No. Yes. No. No, that's different. That's. Hold on, because I've got people that are talking to me at the same time that I had my 1 minute. So give me a second to get back on the track, and I have to get back into the room as well. Yes. Oh, shoot. I did not see this person write me that. Well, okay. Get back in this room, this page. God, all these buttons. Be patient. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. We're getting there. There it is. There. Okay, now I can see. There we go. At least I think I'm caught up. And go here, go back to messages. I'm just going to say Kelly Hansen. I know she's on the list. Habitual fear. There's a readjust. It's interesting because I see your whole body contorted, your spine and your hip. I feel like your left leg or your right leg's up. And I feel like you're like stuck. Why are you showing me that position? Her nerves. Okay, so so we're going to look at the meridians. They said a pericardium, triple warmer, small intestine, and large intestine. Those are all on the hands, by the way. That's all the energy that they go all over. But so they said there's a part of you that when you've ever had a cramp, you're like, and you can feel how the tension and tightness. They said that may be the nerves, but it's the meridians. And because they're holding that particular point, it causes a distortion going on in the cervical and the thoracic aspect. And they said, if you start just holding R3D, you can start taking care of the jealousy and the longing. Start off with those two first, okay? Define them, look at them, ask spirit to have it show up to you, and then you can really heal the raws with a whispering opportunity instead of a bitch slap. Lena, Miss Lena. Okay, Lena, your body is, wow. Your body goes into panic before your mind does. And your body says, oh my God, I have feedback from the environment. Oh my God, oh my God. So your body is looking and looking and looking. Well, your mind's over here. But as soon as you feel the old panic, your brain starts thinking about stuff. And they said that you got to get that connection. And they said that you start to feel unsafe. And they said, if you start holding R3S and begin to pay attention to when your body does the feedback, it's not necessarily that that's true that it's happening now. It's stuck in what's called an action loop. And so it doesn't matter what time, what age, where you're at, it just kicks in. It kicks in. Or you'll see it on TV, or you'll talk to the neighbor, and it takes you back to, whoop, this is where you have to go. And they said the main thing that you go back to is when you're about 2 years old, and it's just that you wanted to run. At 2 years old, you wanted to run because you felt unsafe. Now, if you happen to have any memories, that's great. Bring that up. R3S, take care of it then. But anytime that spirit brings that up, heal it out. R3S, Lena. Miss Nancy. Okay, Miss Nancy. There's a certain amount of self-abuse that you do, and I hear the talk in your head. And the chemical peptides from that self-talk goes down and says, well, and you have to readjust. And you are actually not happy that you're the one that has to readjust. But you automatically start to readjust because you feel awkward. And I said, what they said, 7 years old, you began to feel very awkward because you could see them see you. And I don't know if you started to notice that you're female and that, you know, our privy points, you know, you're like, but your body is like, I don't want to be seen. And so you started to readjust yourself already. It's just like when you go ahead and you're typing and you're having a word you want to use, and you're like, oh, I try to spell, oh, fine, I'll not use that. What's another word I can use? The word that you wanted to use is what you needed to do. And that's the same thing. There was a part of you that wanted to be that, but you couldn't. So you disregard it. And they said, if you're ready to start to heal it, then you can say L3D and say, you know what, I'm done being an object, because you made yourself an object of not being seen because you didn't want to become an object by people that saw you. Okay. So R3D. Okay. Teresa Perkins. They said wishy-washy. You're starting to tap into how this was something that this is who you were, this is what your nerves are doing, and you are starting to realize, I don't really need to put myself on a trip. You know, I have to guilt trip myself, or I got to use excuses and reasonings to go and be wishy-washy. I don't have to, because you didn't know what to do with it. You also use that as a way to begin to not want to feel the unworthiness. At least that's how the little girl felt. You're ready to do R3S. R3S, because it's the way that you excuse and communicate and reasons that are creating a certain feedback in your nervous system. Anything else? They said, yes, the body has an habitual fear. I said, is it a true fear? They go, no, but I know I need to readjust because, oh, you just knocked that out of my hand. Because I have to, because that's what they're expecting of me. Okay. We're going to do Lillian Alvarez. I can never remember. And okay, Lillian. Crushed. Apathy. Hiding behind. So notice there's a combination. If your heart's going to get crushed, or you're going to be crushed in some form. Notice the apathy. That, like when you try to do something, something stops. So look up these two words, because the incident of when you were 9 years old, you kind of put a mask on and you've been hiding behind it for a while, but it keeps creating a karmic debt. It keeps creating a karmic, I don't want to feel crushed, or I don't want to do this. And I'm going to do this apathy, that it keeps pushing you in one direction, and your soul keeps trying to push you into the other direction. And so there's a confusion. And they said, when you get ready to look in the mask, and you're ready to start to remove it, notice it has to do with how it makes you behave or not behave. And they said, when you're done, you'll start noticing that you're ready to hold R1D. And it's about how, okay, I got to compensate. I have to change who I am. Oh, I can see the cues that if I said this, then, okay, I'll compensate. I'm going to change what I say, or change my behavior. I'm going to show up the way they want. That's the mask, I think. Hopefully that makes sense, Lena. I know I'm saying your name, butchering it. Please forgive me. Okay. So now we have Amanda. Fear of people calling you Mandy. It's weird because all of a sudden I heard Mandy, and it said fear. So I don't know if somebody shortened your name or whatever that is, but they said that you're like, and you were running from something. My whole body says I have to obsess about how that bothers me. Oh, I obsess about how that bothers me. Ooh, and literally you can feel like it comes in of overstimulation, and you're like, oh, and then you can't stop thinking about it. And they said that you're ready. So they said L1S, because it's something to do with, oh, I know I'm going to have to give up my expectations. But you did it not because somebody told you to. You did it because you didn't want to participate in something. You didn't want to have to do a grown-up thing. I don't know what it was. And you know that when You know what it feels like to be let down, and you don't want to let anybody down. Oh my God, I absolutely hate it. My buddy's grandma tried to, everybody else call me. Oh, you are healing backwards. Yes, Amanda. Okay, heal it, heal it, heal it. Because you know something's coming. You're like, I don't want it. So heal that out. And I'm glad that you know the emotion of the word hate on that, but L1S that, okay? All righty. Krista with the K. La, 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 la. Petrified. Sounds like a song. We're making it. There's an emphasis there, but it's like, I don't want to do that to her. So I'm just going to say it, not the way they want me to, but did you ever feel like somebody used your name and it was kind of creepy and lofty and you're like, okay, again, I was being nice. L3D, because it's like, as soon as when people start talking a certain way, you know, you are an object. You're just an it. You're like, what the hell am I in this conversation for then? But it's also, I have to readjust so I can get their attention. I have to readjust to get their attention. Well, you're doing it to some people that don't need your attention. They don't deserve your attention. They're sweet, they're kind, they pretend like they're cute, but they manipulate. I don't know if you go to this person. I don't need any more. Okay. But anyway, they said when you start ready to notice that you don't have to behave that way, you'll start getting your safety back and R3S it. Right wrist, third position, soft. Nikki. Yes, Miss Nikki. Giving up. What are you giving up? Giving up creativity. I feel like you just threw a tantrum. I give up. I can't do it. But then you're back on track. But they said there's something about a readjust to why you'd want to respond that way. And they said that you're persistent. You have a tenacity. Yay. But something about disapproval about your ideas or disapproval. It's like people are looking at it and not understanding something. Not understanding your reality. Okay, so then you just say, okay, thank you, Spirit, for helping me find the right words and practice finding the right words. Sometimes when I wanted to do this, I ended up going, I can't seem to communicate this. So I would get a camera and have a conversation. And I started to notice when I watched it back about how to change stuff. So they said, just kind of start doing that because you may drop into a self-pity mode. And they said that when you're ready to do that, you can R3S it. Okay. So I'm just going to double check and make sure I got them all. And then I'm going to go and get the line to go to talk to Miss Ames. And there is this, there, that, and hit this and go there. Go back and see if I missed anybody. Looks like I got everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Does it make sense, Nikki? Yeah. So, oh my God, Nikki, she has this cute little dog. Oh wow, it's just the cutest little thing. Talk about knock my socks off. I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm not one for dogs. Well, at least we're not quite purple. We are pink and purple. That's good.
Yeah.
We seem to be in sync a lot. And it was hilarious because she says to me this morning, what color are you wearing? And I said, well,
Purple.
Yeah, purple. And then she goes, well, this is what I look like. It's not dark. I said, and I said it back, neither am I. It was the exact same color.
It's funny how that happens.
Exactly. Okay, I got a reading to give to Deborah Roos. So give me 1 second. You can look, sit there and look cute. All right, let's do this. The reason why I can do this is because it's me and Amy.
It's me.
It's us. All right. So Deborah, just real quick, they're saying the word accused. Now I'm not feeling that I feel like it may be the way you may speak. That's funny because then all of a sudden it's like, I think somebody's picking it up as a filter that said, how dare you type energy, but I don't know if they're speaking up. I'm really seeing whatever words you're using as not clear as the way that unless you are doing it, because all of a sudden they showed me you're doing a story here that you're chasing something down and you're repeating. And they said, this is a habit. This is something you picked up from your family about behavior, about how you're supposed to hold the space. I'm supposed to be lofty. I have to get my voice across. I have to do this. And it's a way that you have to hide your feelings so that you're not really being exposed. And it's dogma. It's just the same shit, different day. And they said that you're getting to wake up to hearing this language. And if you are, then R1S, right wrist, first position, soft. How are you, young lady?
I'm good. I got a new microphone.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
It's pretty cool because all I have to do is I can touch it and it like will mute itself.
Nice. I do hear the difference in the sound. That's good. Okay, what would you like to work with? Or what would you like to do? Work with? What the heck? I mean, what would you like to do?
I've been thinking about that and I'm like, I don't know.
All right. There was a confusion of some type of energy that you had this morning about when you were reading something. And
oh yeah.
okay, so this person that comes to you comes very I'm professional, I'm in my craft.
Yep, she does.
But here's the problem. You're also starting to notice, God, really? You're starting to notice their world and different timelines. And you are also looking at a growth where you don't have to fall for everybody's timelines.
Yeah, exactly.
You're questioning yourself because they said that you were compatible with every single person on the planet except for you and you. Okay, you know how to take care of that because your Nelly came up. But you're starting to also notice that I don't have to be compatible with everybody. And it's okay. And they said, look, 1, I came out of the closet. 2, I am who I am. 3, I am this person. I can have a voice. 4, I don't have to have that personality. You really have been really leveling up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
and then that part of you that wasn't growing is now growing, saying, yeah, I don't really need, oh, wow, I don't need all these people in my space. And now you're starting to wake up on a level that says, I love you and yeah, I don't get it. And it's like you don't really want to get it. You want to help people, you want to understand, but at the same time, you also know, wait a minute, that's your timeline. Now, see, you're not sitting on the fence anymore or being swayed by the wind. You're actually stepping back now and learning how to find that higher consciousness within you and choosing. Good job.
Yeah, when she sent me that text, I'm like, and why do you have to believe that person's timeline?
Aha, very good. Okay. And when that would make sense because your part of it is like worthless, worthy. And you could feel how a person was, well, 1, we need to consider the source. So you've been learning from me and learning from the academy, but it's like worthless. I also feel like you actually saw the person's Arrested Development.
I've been seeing that a lot lately in her. Yes.
And notice that that's her personality. And even if you said anything, I don't think they'd hear you.
No.
Okay. So you're supposed to see where you were or what it is that whether you want in your catalog of life of who you're going to be, but you're starting to make parameters. So you're starting to find that you are actually worthy. Now, it's not to say she's not worthy. I didn't say that. I said you're starting to notice that you don't have to sit on the fence. You're starting to see that your beliefs are important. And they said that I don't have to readjust myself to me and having conversations.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is what she said, is it possible? Quantum field, all things are possible. It depends on which timeline you're in. And if your mind can't wrap around it, maybe it's not meant to. Maybe it's supposed to be their world. Because once you start to focus on fire and wired, you're going to get pulled in that direction. And there's a part of you that's like, I don't want to. I have all these people that were in my close proximity, and I started to notice their world. And I said, yes, and I love you, and I'm over here. And you're starting to not have to obey these rules or show up the way people want. You're not putting mask on. So now I feel a headache. Not spins. This time I feel like this is connected to how you used to have headaches. It's like when people wanted you to step up to be in their world, only their world, your body was like, oh, I need to check out. But you knew your body's like, oh yeah, but I have to show up. Now, the incongruency there, I don't really see a lot of it. But I also feel that you're feeling like you're cursed. Oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go again. The Groundhog Day curse. And I feel like this, but the reaction, you're not falling for that emotion that comes off of things as much.
No.
Okay. What gets you though is that you're in the middle and you're doing your best to be at the mirror, and you realized, how can I have a conversation with somebody and still be relevant? Because people, I feel like in a way, some people want your attention 24/7 because you were really good, and that's what makes you a good friend. I think you need to rewrite what's it mean to have boundaries and what's it mean to be a good friend, because I feel like somebody's going to challenge you and say, you broke your promise. You didn't show up the way a friend is supposed to. Well, they can have their own rules, but you need to write yours. Does this make sense?
It does. It does. I took the mother-in-law grocery shopping today, and I'm just sitting there going,
Healing. Good.
oh my God.
But you can see the difference, and the body is not as strongly pulled in to have to believe that reality, because if you didn't understand those hormones and chemical peptides, the emotions would have just pulled you in and you would have believed any reality. But because you're starting to clear this out, it's like, why am I doing this? You're starting to wake up to the world you had created. And not that you're hearing how you can't tolerate certain things, but you're also hearing how, do I need to?
Yeah.
So when you got that text, there was a part of you, it's like, you first went, oh my God. And so you're not completely falling for it, but they said you're also not running from it either.
Cause I was like, well, I think it's possible, but I'm not sure how.
And the thing is that if they're showing and they believe it, okay, so one of the things you're supposed to learn from this is that you are stepping up more and more into being a healer for others. You're healing yourself and you're learning the steps. So when you're starting to see other professionals do certain behaviors or how they handle it, the question is, yes, we need to believe other people's, my belief is, I would teach my students, is that you need to believe them, hold space for them, because their reality is their reality. But at the same time, when they're asking you, is it true? All things are possible, but at the same time, how do you communicate this? And that is where I feel like you can choose to ask Spirit to help you find the words, or be afraid that you're going to give the wrong answers. You know what I mean? How do you help those that seem like they're in a more far-fetched land? And the thing is you're not supposed to really cater to them. You're not doing any of these things. You ask Spirit how to show up. If you really don't know the answer, don't be afraid to lose the client. Right. Say, I'm not equipped to this, or let me look into it. I understand what you're saying. I don't quite get, so there's more to the story that I need to know. You need to ask these questions. You don't need to go into panic, go into froze mode. It's just like, thank you, Spirit, for helping me. Because not everybody is going to be your cup of tea, or you are going to be their cup of tea. And they may look at you as a professional, but if you really don't know, then you just have to ask Spirit, or you can direct them to some other person, or however you want to do it. Okay. But you starting to notice, like with people, I don't really need to lose my shit. I really don't need to go there. I really don't need to show up the way they want. And it's the same thing when you start to have clients, tell me if it's true. Because you've been with me, there's a part of you knows that there's variables.
Mhm.
And it's all these different choice points that are constantly happening every second. I think you're taking your definition of things that you've learned and that person's definition of what they've learned. And you can see there's a complete difference.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to tell them they're wrong, because what if they're right? You can learn to communicate with them and just say, okay, it's a possibility. Maybe you need more information. What do you know? It always goes back to the knowing.
Yeah.
So you're learning. You're what's nice about this learning state that you're in, you're not really closing the door off, losing your shit or believing everything. You're standing there going, this is a new territory. Thank you, Spirit. I'm not sure what it looks like,
Mhm.
but I think you're doing good.
Thanks.
I said, is there anything in particular that she needs to heal? And they said, well, you used to have anxiety, like measure that anxiety. How you would go there and you'd be sucked into that emotional thing. And, oh my God, I need to learn this. Oh my God. They said, notice that the anxiety is not really there.
Mm-mm.
And notice that growth.
Yeah, because when I looked at that text, I was like, I don't know the answer to that, but it really doesn't matter that I don't know. Whereas before, I would have been Googling and searching for an answer, but I didn't need to.
Yeah. And you'll notice there's some certain questions you do not need to ask. And then there's some things that maybe you do. But if you feel in your heart with love that whether you just need to leave it as is, but if fear is going to control it, you already know that you need to go, okay.
Yeah. And she asked me a couple more questions and said something, and I'm like, you can heal that.
Yes, because also I feel that they don't really want to hear your answer because they already know the answers.
And yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really know how to show up anyway, because when you did show up and did try to show them something else, they didn't hear you anyway because they had the answers. So they were just letting off steam. Oh, okay, that's it. So if they were venting or letting off steam, do you really need to answer?
No.
Like I will have people that will like, oh my God, I got no one else to talk to. I'll say, look, don't expect me to answer. You can vent. But you already know what my answer is going to be. You can heal that. But if you need a voice or a place to go, you can vent here. That's fine. But let me know that you're venting. So just what are you supposed to do when people do stuff like that?
Yeah. And it's like, I just said, you can heal that. And if you still need to vent, go, because she said that she was just talking, or she was not venting, but she was just thinking out loud.
Yep. That too. Yes.
And I'm
seeing
like,
that, putting the pieces together then. And so you were
I'm
just
like,
that sounding board.
Go for it.
Sometimes we forget why we show up. That's why sometimes I'll say to you, oh, I need a sounding board. Once we get to know each other better, then all of a sudden you know how to step up in that position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, we do that all the time.
Yeah. Yes, we're learning all about each other. Okay, so yeah, I think this was a good report. You're learning that you don't have to be incompatible because you don't have the answer. And you're not getting thrown into a position. All right, I do gotta go. I thank you so much for coming on. And it was a good report, and I'm off to go to work. And thank you very much. Thank you, Amy, and I will talk to you later. Okay, hon?
Okay, bye. Love you.
Love you too. Bye. And all of you out there, thank you so much. Autumn, I see you there. I'll give you a 1 minute real quick. Hi, Joanne. Autumn, I'll give you 1 minute and then I got to go. There's a certain blaming energy that you're so used to having in conversations and all of this all over the place. And there's a part of you that hits your nerves and the way that your body responds because your body's holding it and then it releases it. So look at the word blaming, start noticing if it's in your space, if it's overpowering, if it's overbearing, if it's whatever it's doing, because there's a part of your body that says that you do not have to, your body says, I want to self-regulate. I don't want to have to be like a yo-yo with this energy field. And I said, well, what do you want her to do? And they said, well, they want her to hold R3S, because Autumn, there's a part of you that feels like, yeah, does this, my environment has to always be this way? You're starting to notice it and hear it. And it's like, once you do, and you start to heal it out of your system, let everybody be themselves, but you don't have to be pulled or yo-yoed, or yeah, you can start showing up a little different. So you're going to learn how to rise. Okay, Autumn? And you're welcome. So resolve to evolve. And just remember, when life happens, teach yourself, I can heal this. Grab a tool. When in doubt, heal it out. Because once you do that, you'll say, you know what? I can heal this instead of just deal with it. So you can always then say, happy healing. And I'm already blessed. So stay blessed.